Gibson, Kmet, Samuel, Moore, and Dotson are all on the outside looking in. Who will be my favorites? My top 5 plays for today. It's week 5, Thursday night football. Bears, my Commanders. We're talking DraftKings, and we're doing it right after this. But first, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. Follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman. Sign up at Prize Picks, sponsor at the top of the screen. You'll get up to $100 on your first deposit. And from us, banner at the bottom of the screen, 1 free month of Odd Shopper Premium. If you want to bet on sports, if that's what your goal is moving forward, if you're in a legal betting state, this is the tool for you. It will cost you nothing for a month. Shop the lines, get expected value, win rate, bet sizes, links directly to multiple sports books with their offers. Cannot beat it, guys. Click the link in the description. Sign up at Prize Picks. Now, on to the top 5. First up at number 5, we're going to my Commanders. We've got Terry McClure, and he is $10,200, which is honestly a pretty healthy price tag, but he is the number 1 boy in Washington. 40% optimal, 8% chance at the captain, 32% at utility. We've got the Commanders 6-point favorites, 44.5 point total. I like this spot for Washington. I think it's looking good. 5% chance to go for more than 30. Now, that would be a pretty crazy day for Terry McLaurin. You do not need that much output. With 8% captain, you can get there around 25. I'm expecting a big day out of McLaurin, but don't sleep on Dotson, who's only 1% behind him at number 6. Up next at number 4, we've got Khalil Herbert. So we're going to the Bears now. 8,600, 41% optimal. So 1 percentage point ahead of McLaurin, 2 percentage points ahead of Dotson. Very packed together here in this area. Herbert went for 100 yards last week. That looks pretty good. You feel good about his role. 8,600 is a price tag. I think this is pretty reasonable given what we saw from Herbert last week. 9% chance at captain, 32% chance at the utility, but only a 3% chance for north of 30. He's going to become the captain in a way where it doesn't have to be the biggest day in the world because of his salary point. Because he's coming in so far below Terry McLaurin, he gets a little bit of extra wiggle room. You get him north of 20, it's going to look pretty good. Unfortunately, they are roughly a touchdown underdog. You can see a scenario where maybe he doesn't get as much work, but let's be clear here. That's a pretty small sliver if Washington is just going crazy. Brian Robinson is in at number 3, and we take a step up in tier here. 50% optimal. So he's a coin flip to be in the optimal lineup, and we still have 2 guys to go. 9,200, projected around 15 fantasy points, 15% chance to be your optimal captain, and another 35% at the utility. I think he's in line for a really nice night. I'm a little concerned with how he looked last week, but nobody looked good for Washington. So I'm going to just chalk that up to Buffalo being awesome and Washington not being great. I think you'll see a lot more success here against the Bears. Bears currently 20th in rush defense at PFF. I'm not exactly worried about this matchup at all for Brian Robinson. I think he rights the ship here. Next up, we get to Sam Howell, 9,400, projected for 18.5. The quarterback of the favorites. I'm loving this spot. 15% optimal at captain, 48 at utility. That's 63% total. 13 percentage points clear of Brian Robinson. 22 clear of Khalil Herbert in the 4-hole. We're just climbing into a range that is much more useful. And for Howell, it's just the floor. His floor is so much higher than other guys that he's very naturally going to show up in the utility spot. Do I like him in the captain spot if he can sling it around, maybe pick up a rushing touchdown? Sure, but 48% optimal at utility. That's more than Khalil Herbert overall. That's just shy of Brian Robinson's total. Remember, Brian Robinson in the optimal half of the time. Howell gets there just at utility. That's how close it is. Unrivaled for value until you get to someone like Justin Fields. Because Fields is the guy that you've got to keep your eye on. Just such a monstrous threat on the ground. Had a massive day last week. You get that game, he's going to be your captain. 11K, projected for 20. Could be behind. If he gets in the ground, if he gets into the end zone on the ground early, passing touchdowns late could save him. 13% chance to go for more than 30. 20% chance to be your optimal captain, and another 50 at utility. So Justin Fields at utility is Brian Robinson overall. 20% at captain is massive, but Are you surprised to see that? Thinking about how many times he's going to run, have the potential to throw, to try to get them back in the game if they're behind, it's going to be fantasy points galore for Justin Fields, or at least that's the path I'm looking to take. He is your most optimal play for today. Alrighty, folks, that will do it. Those are my NFL DFS contenders on DraftKings for Thursday Night Football. Washington Commanders and Chicago Bears. FanDuel version's around here somewhere, so check it out. Good luck, everybody. Win some money. We're back again Monday morning for another edition of the Contenders.